This demo is for billing IFSP services via the provider portal. This demo is completed in a staging environment, and therefore there is no personally identifiable information displayed. In this example, I am logged in as a company provider, so I'm on the My Cases tab. If I were an individual provider, I would be on the My Client Cases tab. These tabs are virtually identical, with the exception of company providers have an additional search for provider name and an additional column displaying the provider's name. We are going to add services for a child. So we are going to pick this child Wyatt, and we are going to click Add Services. The first thing that pops up is this display in the top top left corner. The first thing that you see is this display in the top left corner. It shows you the provider's name, the child's name, what the service is on the IFSP. In this instance, it's EI, speech language pathology, the allowable units per date of service, which in this instance is 4 units, and the total units in this IFSP period. Please note the calendar starts with a Monday. And in this instance, we are going to say that services for Wyatt are performed on Tuesdays. So we're going to select Tuesday, May 5th, and we're going to click New Activity. The time auto-populates to 4 units, and the rate automatically populates to the hourly rate that the early intervention broker has on file for this provider. If this rate is inaccurate or displays as $1, please reach out to your early intervention broker to ensure they have the most updated rate entered. We have an activity description, and I'm just going to write SLP session. And then we have the ability to upload files. In this example, I'm just going to select upload files, and I am going to look for, this is an example, so it doesn't match the service, but I just picked Clara Smith OT note 5/14/2026 and done. Obviously, the service is not on 5/14, and this child's name is not Clara, but just to give an example of what this looks like, I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Upon save, 2 things will occur. I'll get a green bar that tells me the activity is saved. I can X out of that. And at this time, I will see a blue hyperlink where new activity used to be and will display the number 4. If I click on 4, I have the ability to edit or delete this service. So I'm going to select Edit. You can see I cannot edit the session or the IFSP service or the date, but I can enter the units, the rate hourly, or the activity description. Additionally, I have the ability to preview or delete the note I've attached or upload additional files. In this instance, I don't need to change anything, so I will select cancel and I'll select back. In addition to, so when I selected edit, you can see I did not have the ability to change the date. So if I did enter this on the wrong date, instead of editing, I would need to delete this activity. It asks me if I'm sure I want to delete. I'm going to select OK. And this activity has been deleted. So let's say I really meant to see this child. I really saw this child on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. So I can go ahead and add a new activity. My unit populates, my rate populates. I'll just say SLP session and save. Oops, I forgot to upload my progress note. I can close that bar, can go in here, I can edit, I can upload a file. I will select done. And now I've uploaded my file. I can select save and back. Now, let's say I see Clara the following Wednesday, or I'm sorry, I see Wyatt the following. I'm going to provide services on the following Wednesday, the 13th. In this instance, I spent an hour and 15 minutes with the family. So I'm changing my units from the 4 that are allowed up to 5. My hourly rate stays the same. The system automatically calculates the hourly rate and the unit combination to come up with the total payment. I'm going to say SLP session again. I'm not going to upload a file in this example because we already saw that demonstrated. And I'm going to select save. But because I selected 5 instead of my allowed units of 4, I get a message telling me I've exceeded my allowable units, and it asks me if I want to proceed. I'm going to say yes and save. And now it prompts me to select an over units justification reason. And the options are makeup visit, time added to session, time exceeded, community partner involvement, family circumstances required additional support, or accompanying family to appointment or outing. In this example, I'm going to select family circumstances required additional support, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. So we can see it's saved with a 5. If I go back and look at it, I can see that I now have this over unit justification available. And if I edit, I can change that justification if I need to. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to cancel and go back. We are going to move to a different child real quick. So I'm going to go back to my cases, and I'm looking for a child named Sarah. And in this example, Sarah is medicated enrolled as yes. So when I add services for Sarah, as the service on the IFSP is speech language pathology, the allowable units are 4, but she is Medicaid enrolled. So I'm gonna, let's say I see Sarah on Fridays. I'm gonna attempt to add services for Friday. So it default again to my units on the IFSP, the hourly rate that the EI broker has for me. I can add a description and I can upload files. We've done both of those before. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm just going to move on with save. But because Sarah is Medicaid enrolled, I'm required to have a Medicaid denial. I need to indicate the date of denial, which I can do with the calendar, or I can type in a date, and a Medicaid denial reason. So in this instance, I'm going to select co-visit. This is a free text box, so you can type whatever you like in here, but there are a list of approved Medicaid denial reasons in the user guide for your reference. I'm going to go ahead and select save. So I can still add services for Sarah under speech language pathology, occupational therapy, or physical therapy for a child that is Medicaid enrolled, but I have to indicate that I have a denial, the date of my denial. So I have to indicate that I have a denial, the date of the denial, and the Medicaid denial reason. Thank you for viewing this demo. If you have additional questions, please reach out to the EI Data team for support. Thank you.